Tell me how you went from being a Spanish teacher to being an entrepreneur and owning Old Glory Detailing and Paintless Dent Removal.
Well, it's kind of a crazy roundabout story. So when I was in high school, my dream was actually to go to West Point. And I was a big runner, still am, and ran cross country and track, and went through and did all the physical aptitude tests and actually got the congressional nomination to go to West Point.
Wow.
And it was about 2 weeks before Christmas, my senior year, and I get a call from West Point, and they told me that I couldn't throw a basketball far enough over my head while I was kneeling, and that I couldn't go. So from there, I was pretty crushed, but my backup school was TCNJ, or at that time it was Trenton State, just because I'm an old guy, but went to Trenton State and decided I was going to major in business. And I knew I loved Spanish. I'd gone to Spain. I was the Trenton Times Honor Carrier of the Year my senior year, and I went to Spain for 10 days with that program. So fell in love with the country, fell in love with the language, went to college to do business, and I was going to do foreign business or international business. And said, man, this is really boring. I don't like this at all.
Right.
I had worked for Foot Locker for a long time. I was what I like to call a replacement footwear technician. So I was doing all the measuring of the feet and everything. So I knew I liked working with people, and my mom was a Spanish teacher for 30-something years. So I said, you know what?
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. What's your last? Will you tell your last name? Like, what's your last name?
My last name is Zarodnansky. So Sandy Zarodnansky is my mom. Everybody called her Senora Z.
Your mom was my Spanish teacher.
No way.
In Steinert High School.
Yep, that's where she taught.
Right.
Yep.
Wow.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this with all respect. I loved your fucking mom.
Oh,
like, she
awesome.
literally, the reason why I was only going to take Spanish 1 and Spanish 2. And I had another lady for Spanish 1. She was all right. She was a nice lady. Then I had your mom for Spanish 2. She made it so much fun that I actually took Spanish 3 and Spanish 4 with her.
Nice. Oh, man.
And we actually, is your mom still around, or like?
Oh yeah, my mom. I just saw her. I went to go see her after La Tip on Tuesday. So yep, she's still around. She still lives in Yardville. Yep.
So I made the video de año de español, right? The Spanish video of the year for your non-Spanish speakers, about this book called Marianella. So your mom used to give us a class, right? It used to give us in the class, she used to give us we had to make a Spanish video, right? Could be about anything we wanted it to be. You know, we had to write the script in Spanish. So we read this book, Marianella, probably one of the worst written books of all times. I apologize to the author and his family. It sucked. In any language, the book sucked.
Benito Perez Galdós. Yo no sirvo para nada. That was Marianella.
So you know the book, right?
Yeah.
Your mom taught it. Like,
he probably wasn't able to eat dinner until he read the book in Spanish.
I had to recite it, and then I got my noodles after that. That's right.
I did not like that book. Anyway, so we made this video, right? And we did like on location shots. My grandmother was in the video. I mean, it was fucking nuts. We brought this, we sung Welcome to the Jungle in Spanish, and it is so nuts. This video was so crazy. And we were like, it was a hotly contested situation where like, we didn't think we were going to win Spanish video of the year. And we did. And man, I wanted to hug your mother. I love that. So that's the difference. My mom was a school teacher too. She taught 5th grade at elementary school in Hamilton Township. And the difference between having a good teacher and having someone like your mom is like next level.
Night and day. Yeah, night and day.
Your mother made like everybody want to be in Spanish class. We actually learned. I conjugated verbs today. Right. We were talking about buying something. So comprar, right? So I conjugated verbs today, and my employees are all Spanish, and they know I speak half-assed Spanish. Mind blown that I could conjugate all the way. You know, I could conjugate ear. They were like, they could not believe that
you had Spanish in you. Yeah.
So here's the best part of it. I go to college, right? And I go to Montclair State. I took Spanish 1. I took Spanish 2, and I'm thinking like I might be done like that, right? The Spanish 2, I had a professor who she was like the assistant professor, and she was going to be professor full time next year. And she says, "Hey, will you guys take my class?" She was hot. She was like smoking. And I'm like, you know what? Absolutely. Like I'm absolutely. So I ended up taking 4 semesters of Spanish in college, but I owe a lot of that to your mom, because like, I can't say enough. I can't praise your mother enough and say enough positive things about her. This is such a small world. Oh my God. This is crazy.
Now riddle me this. Did you go to the Spanish 3 dinner where you came over and you had the fried fish? And
I was at your house.
You were at my house. You met me.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Long time ago. I graduated in 89.
Gotcha.
So that's how old I am. How old are you?
Wow. So I'm 44.
Right,
so I graduated in 96.
You're a baby.
Yep. So did you know Paul Conti? You graduated same era as him, right?
And the name is familiar. I'm trying to think of who was in that Spanish class with me. I could tell you the stars of Marianella. I could tell you the stars of the Marianella video. Jeremy Schiffer, Jeff Takazuski, Brian Reeves actually played Marianella.
That's awesome.
Oh, it was great. We had like a transvestite Mary. And the best part about this thing was we had to use your mother made us use the word bark, gua, like gua, 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 gua. We had to use this in this video, right? So there's Brian's rolling down the hill dressed up as Marianella. Don't even ask. And we filmed this dog, just some random dog in Veterans Park. Totally random. And we do like a dub and it goes gua, 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 gua. Your mother was beside herself.
That's
she could
awesome.
Not believe how nuts this was. So,
that's amazing.
Your mom retired. I would assume retired a while ago, right?
She did. Yeah, she retired a while ago, and she's been having a lot of fun. She babysat for my brother. So my little niece Emma, and Emma's now in preschool, or she's in, I guess, elementary school now. But
nice.
So she's now she's babysitting for a friend of hers that lives around the corner. So still doing her thing. She plays a lot in the church band. She plays guitar. She was one of the big influences to get me into music. So yeah, but she's doing great. That's for sure.
So your mom influenced you to play the guitar, and she influenced you to speak Spanish.
She did, yeah. And when I got into TCNJ and I decided I was going to do the Spanish thing, and then decided business wasn't for me, I was like, well, my mom's a Spanish teacher. I like working with people, so I wound up becoming a Spanish teacher. And I actually taught at Steiner for a couple of years, and then went to 100 Central High School and taught there for 14. And in 2016, I've always loved cars. And I bought my first Porsche when I was young. And they asked me when I took it in for service one day, actually the only time I took it in for service, because I got the bill and said, I'm going to learn how to do this myself.
I'm sure.
But they were like, would you like us to detail it? And I didn't know what that meant. And so I actually joined the Porsche Club, and they would do these clinics and teach you how to do it. So it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot of things. My neighbors would see how clean my cars were, and they would say, hey, you know what? Do you want to clean mine? And I'd say, sure. So I started off that way, and I was working out of my driveway, and I was still coaching. I coached track and cross country while I was teaching, and I was detailing as well. And in 2016, after years and years of sort of building the business, it got to the point where I needed to figure out if I was going to continue to do that, continue to teach, or continue to detail and make that my full-time career. And I decided, you know what? My teaching license is never going to expire. I'm going to take a risk, take a chance. And so I did. And I was super lucky. My wife is amazingly supportive. She said, you know, do what you want to do. She's a teacher as well. She actually teaches in West Windsor, Plainsboro. She teaches Spanish. And so she said, yeah, if you want to take the leap, I fully support you. So 2016 in June, I left teaching and took Old Glory full time. And I've met a lot of amazing people through what I've done. And at the end of the day, I've got an amazing crew that now works with me. And it's been just a really, really, really great time building the business and getting to do what I do every day.